the last couple of years, RwandAir has quietly made some significant moves: an 80% jump in revenue in 2023, a growing footprint in air cargo, and most recently, recognition as Africa's best regional airline at the Airline Awards hosted by Skytrax in Paris, with a sharp focus on customer service.
African aviation is not just about airlines. It's about people. It's about trade. It's about unlocking potential.
An expanding cargo business, and that dramatic revenue surge, the airline is helping position Kigali as a vital aviation hub for Africa and beyond. What's driving this momentum? How are partnerships shaping the national carrier's long-term strategy?
We will only realize the full potential of African aviation when we work together.
And what happens when conflict, closed airspace, or missile threats disrupt operations? In this interview, we speak to RwandAir's Chief Commercial Officer, Mr. Fouad Caunhye, to unpack the milestones, but also the challenges. From costly airfares and fleet expansion to the role of Bugesera Airport and the future of cargo. Mr. Fouad, it's a pleasure to host us here in your office. Thank you so much. You start with introducing yourself and what you do here. People hear Chief Commercial Officer. What does it entail?
Good afternoon, Wycliffe, and thank you for the opportunity. Well, what does a Chief Commercial Officer do? At the end of the day, it boils down to a very, very simple task: selling tickets, ensuring that the persons, the guests who buy those tickets are happy with the service, and that they come back again, that they receive value for money. Obviously, from this basic fundamental, you look at a few other things as well, that hang on to that, as ensuring the growth of our sales, of our commercial dependencies, making sure that that revenue comes at a good price, making sure that profitability levels are sustained, and assisting the team, our CEO, Mrs. Makolo, and the rest of the RwandAir Exco at driving the airline into the future.
How long have you been here?
Not that long. 6 months now, going on 7 months, Wycliffe, but looks like it's been like a couple of years. So many milestones. I think we are the proudest moment that we can think of right now is winning the Skytrax Award for Best Regional Airline in Africa for this year in 2025. I think it's testimony to all the bits and pieces, the bolts and cogs, that come to make, with a lot of precision, that come to make this airline, which is not the biggest one in Africa, but make this airline one of the contenders of tomorrow.
Yeah, congratulations for the recent award.
Thank you.
What does it mean to you, to the team here, and to the customers?
I think I will try for one moment, to be a bit, broader-minded than that, and think, that it's a massive award that reflects on the country, on the trust, the confidence, that is placed in us by the government of Rwanda, by the authorities of the country, into that little team of a bit more than 1,000, employees, but who combine together to project that bridge, that connects Rwanda to the world to Rwanda, that links up to all the, those verticals of tourism, economy, corporate demand, ensuring that the flows of commerce are maintained between the country and the outside world, and in a bigger way, get to have the Rwanda brand, flying on our wings to the rest of the world.
And thank you so much for that. And what are some of the specific strategies or changes that you think may have led to this massive award?
First of all, Wycliffe, every win, comes with a lot of patient, planning, strategic planning, tactical planning. I think the first thing is that we don't take anything for granted. We know our space. We're very aware of the geography that we operate in. You see, to the difference of many markets in the world where profitability can be accessed, on some very limited points of demand, we have to fight for our bread. There's an inverse proportional relationship between time flown and the profit you make. The further you fly, the more reduce your margins. We don't have the benefit of having a massive domestic market due to the size of the country. You operate a daily flight to Kamembe, but that's it. As countries like Brazil or India or China itself or the US, have massive domestic markets. So planes fly for 1, 2, or 3 hours and extract, very good margins. We have to fly, the minimum, the shortest flight time we have is to Entebbe or Nairobi, 1 hour, 1.5 hours. But then most of our missions are more than 4, 5, or 6 hours to the minimum. So that involves costs, that involves, a lot of fuel, that involves, rotation times of the aircraft, that are more extended, utilization time of our crews, which is longer, and all of that have got cost element to it. On the converse, the margins are, the longer you fly, the margins become more limited. So we really have to fight for our bread. Having said that, I think we're riding on the benefits of a few, points which are more or less regular, which have been regular over the last 2 or 3 years. The first one being the growth of demand in Africa, which is higher than the rest of the global demand. Global demand year on year moves between 3 to 4% each year. African demand moves between 12 to 14% each year. So there is a number of passengers traveling. There is, fortunately, that demand. We happen to be right in the middle of Africa, exactly where we need to be in order to connect east and west, south to east, south to west, and all these points in between. We look at our 2 points in Europe, London and Paris, and Brussels, 3 points, sorry. In Europe, with a very careful planning, look at expanding them further, points to the Middle East, operate to Doha and Dubai, as you know, at the moment. But you see, the intent, is to reach critical mass, and we are far from that at the moment. On 23 points of operation, most of them in Africa, 6 or 7, outside of Africa, we are far from achieving full balance. So, looking at adding Mombasa, Zanzibar, towards the end of this year, Jeddah towards the end of the year, beginning of the next year, in order to create those flows or link to those flows better, more optimally, and then provide the mission that you just asked me about, which is to ensure connectivity, our place within our markets.
Yeah, that is great. Amid all these victories, all these wins, the awards, challenges still remain, not just for RwandAir, but globally. Take, for example, the recent when Iran struck a U.S. base in Qatar. Flights were suspended. Some of the flights were suspended. How do you react as a CCO? What is the process like navigating through such a crisis?
Absolutely. No disruption is good. I mean, the the certainty that you want to have, at some point, or the reality that you want to achieve at some point, is full stability in your networks. But then we live in the real world, as you just said, Wycliffe. And the one thing you can be assured is that there will be variations, to any perfect model. What we have to do is to ensure that we react fast, very quickly to these instabilities. The primary focus is to ensure that we don't compromise on the attention we give to our guests, our passengers, our clients. Disruptions do happen. Instabilities do happen. We would like to have an ideal fleet that is double the one we have at the moment. It's still a work in progress. Boeing and Airbus are not able to turn aircraft out fast enough, from their factories. So we have to deal with what we have. Hence, again, driving back to the main focus, which is passenger attention, which is if we end up on a disruption, we have to recover. We have to ensure that the client gets out of there, at least with the knowledge that the issue is resolved, that we're giving it our utmost attention, and that the recovery period doesn't extend as best as possible beyond a 24-hour window.
Yeah.
Which is how I think it's been recognized, by Skytrax and the other and the other notation agencies, that attention, that care. I mean, inconsistencies will happen. They do happen. Disruptions will happen. But it's how you recover through that makes the difference between a great airline and somebody who just flies planes.
And also there's also the closure of the Congo airspace. I think it affected some of the routes that you were taking before. So how are you adapting to the new changes?
Oh, absolutely. I will not say no to that. The DRC airspace issue has been a big spanner, in the works. We were stabilizing a network, in a very good manner. The name of the game is connectivity, and we lost connectivity on a number of points in West Africa. Now, what happens is that we had to make a choice between adding 2 more flying hours per way or 3 more flying hours per way to reach the furthest coast of Africa, like Brazzaville or Cotonou, for instance. So we had to make a clear choice about continuing them with, being inoptimal while doing so, or suboptimal doing so, or discontinuing them and ensuring that we replan our product properly. Hence the addition. I think our outlook right now, is to re-streamline better on the East African networks, where we did not have enough aircraft to operate optimally. Hence the addition of Mombasa, Zanzibar, and also, planning outlook on other points, in the region. We're looking at the Indian Ocean. We're looking at Madagascar, for instance. We are also, through our partnership with Qatar Airways, we are also looking at, a distribution model that doesn't only rely on our airline's metal, as we say in the jargon. So using somebody else's wings in order to fly our passengers gives us access to expanded networks and expanded markets. So to answer your question, the DRC has been, yes, a spanner, but I think we're recovering for it. We replanning gives us time, or has given us time, to replan our operating model, and there will be more, announcements that I will leave to our CEO, Mrs. Makolo, to brief you on as we proceed in time.
Yeah, great. And also for the emerging markets or the growing markets, national carriers or airlines that are owned by the government, achieving financial sustainability is one of the goals I see most of them are trying to do. So how are you doing it here?
I would say we are picking up our marbles from the game. It's not easy. We just spoke about the duration of a flight. We don't have access to a domestic market that cross-subsidizes our long-haul operations. So, the fares we pick, they are what they are. They're subject to intense competition. And the costs, they keep escalating. The longer you fly, the more fuel you burn, the more cost it involves. And operating in a domestic market or in domestic markets involve less, air navigation, airport, handling fees, etc., than operating internationally. So we are not yet at a full equilibrium level when it comes to that sustainability, long-term sustainability. But I think that we are well on the way to achieving it. As we just mentioned, we're looking at doubling the fleet in the next 5 years. So fleet expansion gives you access to additional markets, allows you to fly more revenue-making seats in the air, looks at improving your load factors. That the Africa, passenger load factor levels, they are not the best in the world. Why? Because we simply don't have enough planes to fly in order to connect more people from more points. So I think the Africa levels are around 76%. We are around that level. The global level goes to 84%. You see, so we still got some ways to get there. But with a doubling of the fleet, with more destinations, as we go along, I think the plan is cast, the plan is set, towards the future. So watch the space. In 2 or 3 years' time, we should be in a position to ensure very long-term sustainability.
Yeah, and doubling of the fleet of the Rwandan national carrier will also coincide with the completion of the Bugesera International Airport. Is that part of the strategy? Where are we now? How many do we have? If it's something you can share.
You see, this is, you have the answer in your question. I think this is exactly it. And thankfully so, the effect of belonging to that central authority allows us to interchange or exchange views and information, with other stakeholders in the same geared markets, where, the expansion of tourism in the country, the expansion of commerce, the expansion of other verticals in the country accompanies properly that expansion of the airline, the expansion of the other infrastructure, tourism infrastructure, business infrastructure, commercial infrastructure in the country. Look at that beautiful city of Kigali, compare it to a few years ago and what we see now today, which is literally that little center of Central and East African world. So Bugesera, or as we would like it to be known, the New Kigali Airport, is a platform, or is designed to be a platform of 8 to 10 million passengers per year throughput, compared to the current airport, which is designed for 1 to 3 million passengers per year. So the New Kigali Airport will simply be a game changer. Will put us into that playground, where we can effectively now compete properly against the other platforms in Africa. I won't name them, but we'll be looking at some points. We'll be straight in our crosshairs in a friendly manner, but at the same time we will ensure that that we will claim our space in the African aviation domains, in all domains. There is a shortage of players in that market. We have a market that is dominated by one major carrier, all other carriers, there's only one player in Africa that makes, annual revenues or an annual turnover of more than $1 billion. Everybody else, ranges below. I think the next one, Kenya Airways, runs around 600 to 700 million. Everybody else is below the 500 or half a billion threshold. So what it says through that is that there is space. The non-African carriers, are able to extract anything from 10 to 12 billion dollars a year, from our market, and we are able to look at the future with confidence. We know that there is a playing space. We are very aware that we don't have all the tools we need right now. That is, all the aircraft we need to fly. But I think that team is, is itching at the seams, is bursting at the seams now to own more markets in Africa and claim more markets, rightfully so, externally.
Yeah. And as I was preparing for this interview, I have a few guys who are very enthusiastic about aviation, airlines, planes. There's a rumor circulating that there's a plan to introduce another Airbus to the 3 that we have. Is it something that is in the table or in the works?
Cliff, we don't deal in rumors, we deal in reality. So there's number 4 coming before the end of the year. We're planning for our 4th Airbus to come around August, so the paperwork is being finalized now. But number 4 will not be the last one, and number 4 will not even be sufficient, for ensuring we meet all our plan requirements now. So there's another 2 737 aircraft joining in August and September. So before the end of September, the 4th wide-body Airbus 330 should be joining our fleet, and we are looking with lots of anticipation, but also a lot of serenity at next year. To break things down in jargon, we're looking at adding, to our 500-600 million, available seat per kilometer, another 100 million. So that is predicating, approximately a 15 to 20% growth in our seating sold capacity, which is still below what the market demand is. But we as soon as those planes are in, we already locked in, we already lock in a sizable chunk of Pan-Africa demand.
Yeah, great. And also, as you said, there's a lot of competition, and everybody is trying to get the piece of the cake. So what is RwandAir's competitive edge?
Competition is necessary. I think, RwandAir's competitive edge is not to take anything for granted, ensure that we train, skill our teams. They are all experts in their domains. They only have to look, to the future, ensuring that we have the right strategic agreements to move forward with the right strategic players. Hence, for instance, the pending agreement with Qatar Airways, which should be our strategic partner, and ensuring that we have the right planes to deliver the mission. Our estimate is that we're playing around 50% below the field that is available to us. So there's more market space to take. There's a good team that is prepared to link into that. There is the African markets growth and capacity themselves, and there's a massive market capability, whether it is predicated on mining, whether it is predicated on industry. Africa still has to weather its second stage or third stage industrialization, or simply tourism.
Yeah, and also talking about partnerships, Rwanda has engaged in various partnerships with various partners, with brands such as Visit Rwanda and BAL. Are these partnerships contributing to your growth?
Absolutely, and vice versa. We'd like to think we also contribute to the success of these partnerships. Those partnerships are necessary, those events are necessary, the setup, those domains that involve our prime stakeholders like RDB, RCB, the hospitality industry, the very upmarket hospitality industry in Rwanda, the demand to, which is a very premium demand, to Rwanda, one of the higher value added and value producing, tourism demands to Rwanda, cannot be delivered without a strong air or aviation player, and we would like to think that we are that partner that is attentive to the demands of our stakeholders.
Great. Now we shift gears, we near completion of this interview, we shift gears to cargo, the cargo business. Many consider the cargo business in Africa as an under-tapped market. How is RwandAir positioning itself, to take advantage of these gaps?
We would like to think we can do more, and we would like to think there's more markets we can play into. We operate, as you know, a 737 freighter. My good colleague, Mr. Bosco Gakwaya, is the director for our cargo services, and would be the best person to answer your queries. But I think in his plans he's looking also at aircraft, that can carry our prime produce from here, whether it is our coffee or tea, or whether it is our or also in Rwanda as well, into the country, and for distribution around the that Great Lakes region, prime products from prime markets, China, India, the Middle East, Europe, etc. So I think the next transition space is to look for a wide body, cargo equipment. So that can do 7 or 8 hour flights and bring our produce fresh direct to market.
Yeah, and also there is this as we travel around the world, in Africa the cost is usually very high compared to when you move to other parts of the world. So what is behind this, and how can RwandAir contribute to making the cost of traveling cheaper?
It's a very good question. It's a very good point. If I would use an example, and just a simple example, and not to be to be over the top with that, a country like China has more road kilometer capacity, than a grouping of 15 or 20 African countries together. You see, so aviation is a requirement. Aviation has to remain, has to stay. Now, aviation in Africa is expensive. Too many borders, not enough, I would say, coordination, into ensuring, that those hidden costs, that involve going between borders, are reduced, or if not removed. As soon as you cross over a border, there's things like overflight charges, navigation fees, airport taxes, and so on. again, to use the example of the domestic markets that you won't find. We seem to look at, the total fare priced and think, those tickets or ticket values are expensive. But in many places, many points, the ticket fare that you pay is made up 30 up to 40%, in some cases even up to 50% by non-airline costs. Airport taxes, a number of charges, and so on, that add up to the ticket value. So looking to the future, I do hope to think that we will have a less intensive bordered Africa, where planes can fly more smoothly, with less navigation, overfly, etc. charges, with less, less heavy airport charges, and achieve maybe that kind of flexibility that you see in markets like Europe or India or China.
And as we conclude the interview, there's this the pilot cadet program, an ambitious program, a good program for talent acquisition. Which approach are you guys using, and what can the young people out there expect, as you roll out the program?
Pride, they can expect, professionalism and deliver professionalism, and also, have that philosophy, that they are the wings of Rwanda. They are the faces, the ambassadors of this country, this very deep-rooted culture, this very young and very ambitious, place that want to make its mark on the world. This is what they would want to expect. We would like to deliver that professionalism to them, that attention, that core view of beliefs, and the knowledge that the job that they do has impacts not only on the day they live in, or the month they live in, or the year they live in, but for the future generations of Rwandans into the next 25, 50 years to come.
Absolutely. And as we conclude, is there any message you have for your customers that are watching you?
I would say yes, keep flying, enjoy the day, and enjoy the best regional airline in Africa for 2025, to thank them for their trust and confidence, and also keep voting in the right direction in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fouad. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Wycliffe. Pleasure has been mine. Asante sana.